A good morning to everyone, and this is a continuation to my last video. I hope you've seen it. Positive response to this coronavirus and what I think is a pandemic going on in the Jewish communities around the world. I wanted to add to my thoughts from last week, and that is that I feel that this is a great opportunity for Jewish people and Jewish communities around the world to use this time and this would say crazy time to make a positive change in the Jewish communities. Things that I've noticed is that we could definitely strengthen ourselves in davening, as I said in my previous clip, and this is definitely needed in all communities, and we should all take part in that. We shouldn't just let this time pass for the coronavirus to pass and everything goes back to normal, because that would be a big shame. But we should use this, and the leaders of the communities should use this time to make changes that are necessary for in every way possible. Some of the other things that I was thinking and was talking to some other people and friends, and they share the same concerns that are also crises happening in Jewish communities all over the world. And Rabbanim have spoken about this many times over the past years, and people don't see a big change at all, or any change for most people in these things, and they are. It's known for a long time. There's a big crisis for the education, both the education and also the tuition of Jewish education. It's a crisis. The Rabbanim it's nothing new. The Rabbanim have spoken about it many times, and they've tried different things. But the fact is that there's a crisis still going on, and nothing has changed. And we should try to use this time to change that and to make it better for people all over the world. You have a crisis of tuition, people, families that are struggling with 5, 6, 7 or 10 kids, some struggling even with 3 kids in a school and struggling to pay the tuition. This is putting great pressure on families and on young couples, and really putting unnecessary stress on the system at large. And this shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like that. It was not meant to be that people should have to slave themselves in order to acquire Torah. Torah should be free, if anything. I'm not saying that education of Torah should be free, but people shouldn't have to be slaves in order to send their children to get a good Jewish education. And there's many things that can be done, and Rabbanim know what to do. They know how to better this. But it's time that the people make a change. People should stand up. People should talk about it. People should give ideas, and whoever has good ideas, they should put them out there. There's no point to continue it as things have just been going on for decades. This is a time now. Anyway, children are all over the world are out of school, and things are changing with Zoom and online classes. Things should change. People should come up with ideas. One simple way to cut costs is if teachers, if schools or individuals who are good managing have managing skills, can manage online schools, should set up teachers to teach multiple kids via Zoom, and it doesn't have to cost $20,000-$30,000 per child. It can cost a fraction, and people shouldn't be paying that type of money for each child to go through a thing. It's just, it doesn't make sense. You have people that they don't learn. The parents don't go to learn. They don't go to shiurim. They work all day just trying to make every penny to go to pay for their kids to go to yeshiva, and their kids will do the same thing. They will go. They'll grow up. They'll go to work, and they'll work day and night and barely learn any shiurim because they're working day and night and killing themselves just to pay the tuition. So what is the point? People will say, a lot of rabbis will say, yeah, that's the point, Mesiras Nefesh and everything. I think that's wrong, and many people agree that that's wrong, and there could be a happy medium. There has to be a balance, and people are suffering. This is not just poor people. There's people, regular class people, middle class people are suffering, and changes have to be made. The system has to change. The whole education system has to change, and the education itself has to change. And that's for a different time. But the education also of hiring teachers who are not qualified, those days have to change. So children go through a system and actually come out with skills and know how to learn, and have an appreciation for the 15 years of what they've just gone through and learned in yeshivas all over the world. This is a problem of education I've heard from people in Eretz Yisrael and in America and all over the world. So now's the time people should think of ideas, and it's very easy to implement it now, while anyway the whole system is changing, and things are going to change anyway for the better. This whole virus has brought us closer to the Mashiach. There's no doubt. This is a big stepping towards Mashiach, and there's a lot of positivity that can come out of it. But we shouldn't sit back and expect, Mashiach's going to come from this virus, or right after this virus, or tomorrow because of this virus. If anything's going to happen, it has to be a change. We have to make the change. We're part of it. We're part of the change that's happening by itself in the world, but we have to be part of it. And being part of it proactively means changing the systems, changing how our shuls function, changing how davening, the davening is in shul, and the shiurim are in communities. There's so much that we can explore now that things are changing so rapidly in the world. But to sit back and say, let's just wait for the virus to go away, and then let's things go back to normal, the way they were, just continue. Then we've wasted a great opportunity where thousands of people are sick, and so many people have passed away in the name of what? This is a message for the Jewish people especially. So we have to think about what we can do to do better. When this is to do better now, to start doing better now in every single way. And these are some of the things that are troubling the Jewish community all over the world. People are struggling, and it's known. The Rabbanim know it, leaders know it, and it's about time that people make a change. People should give ideas, and people shouldn't be afraid to start things and try new things. And the leaders should help. The other issue that I see and that I've heard from so many people is the inequality and the stress that's put on people by where you have very wealthy people. Baruch Hashem, we need wealthy people, but they will go ahead and make large weddings and spend exuberant amount of money on bar mitzvahs and l'chaims and weddings, which is great, but to spend so much money and to waste that amount of money on a wedding or on something that's a physical thing. Forget about the fact that the Torah says one shouldn't spend so much money and put an emphasis on the physical things, but spend it more on the spiritual things. That's a whole different topic. But the problem is that it puts stress on the community at whole. When you have a few wealthy people in the community and they make the bar so high that a wedding has to be like this, and you have to spend so much money, and everyone knows you got to have a 10-piece band, and you got to have at least 5 photographers and videos, and you got to have this, you got to have that, and you got to invite so many people, 300 or 400 or 500, whatever it is. Then what it does is the people who are middle class or lower class or poor people, it puts a stress on them. So they say, the regular person, me included, will say, I don't have that type of money, but you know what? I gotta show my friends, I gotta show off, I gotta at least try to keep up with everyone else. So I'm gonna borrow more than I can afford. I'll put my life on the line and my family's life on the line and everyone else's, and I'll borrow the money if I have to. And I'll make a big wedding, and then I'll go into trouble and I'll credit and I'll owe people money, and then it puts stress on people, unnecessary stress. People get sick, and this is the real problem. People, so many young people getting sick, and people do say things about it, but the change, then there's no change. It's just we complain about it, and we're sad about the young people getting sick and passing away, and marriages being destroyed, people leaving the Derech HaTorah all over in every single communities all over the world, and we're so sad about it. But do we make a change? Have any big leaders made a real change and said, enough, this has to change? Can people go ahead and throw such money away? And when people are struggling, someone walking by me the other day said to me, brought the point home, said, I can't believe how some people can make, weddings like this, that they spend thousands and thousands of dollars. I can't even imagine how much. And you have in the same community, you have people going to the store with tokens to buy food, or with vouchers that they couldn't afford. They had to get vouchers from the community or from the leaders. It's a joke. It's a joke. So you'll say, well, what's his business? What the wealthy person that can do it? That's not the way the Torah works, and we know that. If a person has such money, he should give it to tzedakah more. He should give to the shuls. He should give to support the aniyim. He should give to the schools, so that the schools wouldn't need so much money from people that can't afford it. They would have donations from millionaires and from people that have so much money to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on simchas, which is great. It's great to make a simcha, but does it have to be that way? In the previous generation, people would make a simcha in their house. Most people made a simcha in their house. If it wasn't bar mitzvahs, for sure, up to bar mitzvahs and brises and l'chaims, it was done in the house. You invited your friends. You invited 40 people, 50 people. Weddings, most people made in a slightly larger, either in a shul hall or something like that. But to continue the way it's going now, it's an embarrassment to the Jewish community. At the same time, when you have people that don't have money people don't have food on the table. And this is a major problem in every community all over the world. And even if you don't have people who are struggling to put food on the table, it's still a bizoyin of kesef, and a lot more positive things can be done with that money to help to build the system, to help build the education, and help the shuls that are struggling, and help teachers that are struggling, and there's so many things that can be done with chesed, with people who have extra money to give to tzedakah. So I just think that at this time, when such a crazy pandemic is going on, once in a lifetime, who would have ever imagined to be going through such a thing in life? And who knows when this thing will end? But we have to take the opportunity to move forward, and to as a society, people should learn from Yidden all over in every Jewish community. They should be learning from us, see what we're doing, taking the messages from this pandemic. How can we make this better? It's not that it's a punishment. Hashem wants us to better ourselves as a nation, as a people. and we have to look to different ways that we can better ourselves. It's not just about learn more Torah. There's situations and there are issues that have to be dealt with, and we should try to deal with them, and take lessons from great people, and use this opportunity to build a better future for ourselves and for our children. I wish everyone a good Yom Tov, and we should really merit to see Mashiach and be part of Mashiach and be part of this change that's going on, this Mashiach change, Messianic change, if you want to say Yemois HaMashiach, whatever you want to call it. But we're definitely in Yemois HaMashiach. The question is, are we being a part of it, or we're just watching it happen? So I would love to be a part of it in a positive way. We should be a part of it. We should all try to be a part of it and change things for the good. What's happening for the good in all the communities is great, and there's so many good things that should stay. But we should build on that and make it better. Make it better the way it will be in the time of Mashiach. We should think how it will be in the time of Mashiach, and we should work towards that, so that this will actually take us into the time of Mashiach. When Mashiach comes, we know that people won't suffer from poverty. People won't have financial problems. And education and Torah won't cost what it costs now, because people will have plenty of money. So we could do that now. We have to change the way things are done. People could have plenty of money if they don't have to spend it all on education, or all on weddings, and marrying off 5 or 6 children. People could have plenty of money to do all the things that are necessary in a Jewish person's life. So I just hope that these things are the Rabbanim and leaders all over the world are talking about it. I don't listen to every single videos and YouTubers online, but if people are talking about it and leaders are encouraging these things, it's good. And I've heard some people talking about it, but we should hear it more, and people should come out and talk and give ideas and not be afraid. The worst is to be afraid from the pandemic and just close up and say, well, let's just see what happens. And then when this is over, we'll go back to normal. We should all try to give ideas and try to better the situation of Jewish people in our communities and all over the world, and better ourselves, obviously. So I wish everyone bracha and success in finding new ways to move forward from this. That after Pesach we should be look like we're in a different world. Good Yom Tov.